All right, we are live. Nade's yelling at me in chat to start the stuff. Sorry we're a minute late, but we're better than most weeks. Welcome to Tavern Talk. I'm your host, Anarchist, joined as usual. On the right, we have Anna Moore. How you doing, Tim?
I'm doing great. I got me a peach vodka mixed with some pomegranate juice. So just drinking.
He's got something nice over there. Slipsh joining us back from his break. He's another year older, and he's below us. What do you got to drink today, Slipsh?
Same old wines, gotta go.
Well, I was gonna get a Gatorade.
It's a pretty big glass.
I was trying to get the Gatorade out of the fridge behind me, but I'm having struggles over here. And we're joined as well by another member of Team Swagaway, Brasky. How are you doing today, man?
Doing well, my friend. I am being as hipster as possible, drinking a local craft brew from the Zipline Brewing Company of Lincoln, Nebraska, enjoying a hibiscus saison.
Oh,
You weren't joking about the hipster part.
With real hibiscus.
All
like you're drinking a
right.
tea.
Yeah, no, it's basically, it's like drinking tea, but it gets you drunk.
That it will. So, excuse me. So how are you guys doing? Slipsh, how was your birthday? You said you had some plans. You went out and had some fun stuff. Did you have a good day on your birthday?
I went to my sister's and her husband's place, saw my niece. She's awesome. She's about 18 months now.
Oh,
Had a nice little dinner, played some board games, went home.
I
The day
didn't know.
after off,
I didn't know Slimsh was an uncle. That's awesome.
I am an uncle. Proud uncle.
Tim, you done anything fun this past week since we last talked?
Yeah, I've been climbing
Great
the
uncle.
ladder with some, the great uncle of Slimsh's niece. Playing some Secret Mage on ladder. Had a big win streak up to rank 4 after being stuck at like rank 12 for a week.
Nice.
But Earl, Tomlock, and myself, we did the Popper tournament on Saturday.
Yeah, how did that go?
We didn't make it out of the group stages, unfortunately, but it was a lot of fun. We did really well. Overall, our decks went overwhelmingly positive. I believe I was 7-2 for all the games I played. So we're definitely happy with our performance, but one loss is what prevented us from moving forward.
Aw.
That happens.
Yeah. And then, Brasky, how about you? How was your week in Hearthstone, or your week in general been?
Hearthstone has been delightfully chill. I spent last month, August. I have a bunch of time off. I was able to kind of make my first attempt at trying to get Legend, but I'm a 4 seed for a reason. So I basically got to rank 5 with Paladin before the new expansion came out. I got up to like rank 1 and 2 stars, playing in between like Pirate Warrior and Token Druid, and then tilted my ass back down to rank 5, got up to 2, back to 4. I eventually just ended up like finishing. I think I finished rank 2 with 1 star. It was the highest I've ever gone, but boy, the amount of mistakes and tilts that I went on was absolutely horrible. I think my final record was something like 306 and 287. Like it was god awful. So after living in hell for all of August, I spent this month so far just doing what I do, playing every so often. I'm playing shit like Cruel Warlock. I'm playing funky versions of Razakis Priest. I'm playing whatever just kind of suits my fancy right now, and realizing that Hearthstone is fun again after making the crime.
Yeah, I've only made one real push for Legend. I had Mange, and I think Parker was there, maybe even Slipsh. I had a few people coaching me, and I was like up into the high rank, the low ranks, I should say. And it's the last day of the season. I'm like, I'm gonna push for it, and we got to a final boss and lost, and then I haven't been back to rank 5 since because that was tedious.
Yeah, my thing is like eventually I'll make that push again. I need some coaching next time. I got to rank 5 on like August 8th. And then I just went back and forth from 5 to 1, up and down for about the next 22 days. And damn near jumped off the roof, covered in hibiscus saison, just cursing the name of everything.
Oh, okay. Well, let's get into it. Week 2 has closed. We got all the results are in. So before we get into the matchups we highlighted last week, what are some general thoughts about week 2? Stuff that we didn't necessarily predict, but what about week 2 surprised you? What were you shocked to see? Just any of your thoughts on week 2 as a whole before we get into the matchups we covered last week.
I'll tell you what surprised me, the amount of druid bans. That number should have been way higher.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's see. For week 2, there were 75 out of 91. Yeah, I mean, we can look and see, like, what people who don't do it, how successful they are. Someone banned Warlock. That's interesting.
My guess about whoever banned Warlock, I'm guessing their opponent didn't bring Druid.
No. That was Parker. His opponent definitely had Druid and no Warlock, and he banned it anyway.
See, Parker thought he was actually playing Pavel. He did some acid beforehand and was convinced he was going up against the Russian world champion. And he said, that handlock, absolutely no way, and banned it right away.
Yeah, 91 people brought Druid, 75 people banned it. Now this doesn't account for any DQs where the person brought ban because the classes show up afterwards. So yeah, there's probably like 6 or... Yeah, there's at least 6 on here that I can see. Oh, wait, there's 2 more. So, yeah, there's about 10. So, if you throw those 10 out, only about 6 people didn't ban Druid.
And here's the thing.
When it was brought.
everybody who, didn't ban Druid got into trouble unless your opponent didn't bring Druid in the first place, which meant you were playing the bad operas. So, in that situation, you probably won. But in the other situations, those who, did not ban Druid kind of got hit pretty hard in that.
Yeah, I think mine and Murdoch's match was the only match of the week where neither player brought Druid. So that was fun. But yeah, anything else that surprised you about week 2? Anything that stood out to you when you were going through some of the statistics or just some of the results?
The biggest thing that surprised me, or at least drew my attention, was taking a look at the classes that Defia's Brotherhood picked. They have Druid, Mage, Paladin, and Priest. They're color-coded nicely until Gina's brought Druid, Mage, Priest, Warlock and ruined it. And I'll never
swept it.
Yeah. So while we're on these sort of this talk about classes, there seems to be 3 classes that are being brought fairly equally. Paladin was brought 68 times, Priest was brought 65 times, and Warlock was 67 times. Warrior. They both start with W, whatever. So, of those 3, what do you guys think? Is that the best lineup, do you guys think? Or is it just people are, experimenting? One thing to note is Priest was only brought 48 times last week and really spiked up this week. And then Shaman was brought quite a bit in week 2. It was brought 40 times, and it was brought 34 times. So we've seen kind of an increase in Priest and a drop in Mage and Shaman to account for it. So what do you guys think? What do you guys think about the sort of the most brought classes this season so far?
I think Warrior's probably getting brought too much. Pirate Warrior's a good deck, but in THL, man, if Control Warrior's not a reasonable option for you against your opponent's lineup, they're just going to come after those Pirates hard. I think Warrior should be way lower.
Okay.
Paladin and Priest are appropriate, though. Druid, obviously.
I think we're seeing a direct kind of correlation to what happens at HCT sometimes. I think, Rizaka's Priest fared really, really well in the competitive tournament scene when there was no Jade Druid. So I think a lot of people started experimenting with that more. And then I think people started to see that, mid-range Paladin, Shaman, Warrior, they're all very, they require board presence, board control, and the second you're wiped out, it's really hard to come back. They don't have a lot of gas. And so I think a lot of players kind of realized that in the first couple weeks. Paladin, I think, to me, is the most overrated class in THL right now, especially after the nerfs. Who knows what they're going to be? Who knows what it's going to look like? Warrior, in my opinion, is still okay just because it can deal so much damage from its weapon damage. But even then, I think, we saw in Salty Saturday last week, a lot of people are playing around with other Warrior builds, like Taunt Warrior, like Tempo Warrior as well. So maybe some of those Warriors aren't just straight up pirate. But I think right now, Paladin, I think, is probably the most overplayed and probably the one that's doing the weakest.
Okay. What do you guys, do you think that, speaking of Warrior, do you guys feel that the Dead Man's Hand Fatigue Warrior has a place in THL after these nerfs go live? Because I know that deck, a lot of people try and counter Jade Druid with it. I don't know how well it works because I haven't played that deck. Murdoch played it against me this week and probably would have beat me with it because I was running out of steam, but then a hurricane disconnected him, and so that felt bad, man. But what do you guys think? What do you guys think about the Fatigue Warrior? That doesn't have a place in THL.
I think you have to go off of what kind of Dog thinks about this deck in the current meta and where it fits. He thinks it's favored against things like Fatigue Mage. It's favored against things like Secret Mage, Quest Mage. It does okay against Rogue and Shaman, but it's very bad. He thinks it's very bad against Murloc Paladin. He thinks it's okay to bad against Jade Druid. It doesn't have much to go against Rizaka's Priest. He thinks it's 45-55. I don't think there's a place for it right now. After the nerfs, who knows? I mean, maybe everyone starts banning Priest, and then maybe Dead Man Warrior can come up. But as it stands now, I think the current favorite decks in THL will prevent that deck from coming up.
Cool.
Yeah.
Slim, Tim, you agree with him?
Taunt Warrior.
Taunt Warrior.
I think Warrior's role is to be brought against people who would like to bring Shaman.
Yeah.
I bring it up because it's a very interesting deck. I got to play against it this week, and it was it's definitely something. I'm sure you guys have seen people streaming it, and it's one of the more unique decks to come out of this expansion. So I kind of wanted to get you guys' thoughts on that before we move on.
If you want to target Shaman, then play it.
Okay.
Well, yeah, you could play some Volcanoes.
Volcanoes. What is that doing against?
Against Shaman?
Nah, Volcano is a Shaman card. So if you are a Dead Man's Hand Warlock, you wanna play against Shamans, like Token Shaman.
I thought you said you want to play Shaman against Shaman.
No, you want to play against Shaman with Dead Man's Hand.
Oh, definitely.
That's one of the best matchups with it.
Shaman v Shaman. He's like,
lost.
Tekken the Volcano.
Control Warrior at that point would be just as good as any other Control Warrior, though, right?
Just watch this. Everyone's going to start sticking Volcanoes in their Shaman decks this week for no reason whatsoever.
Well, Slim said to play Volcano.
Would if you could.
And so the last question I bring up, and we talked about the nerfs a bunch, and we've had a little bit more time to digest them, but Slimsh wasn't here. Do Hunter, Rogue, and Warlock, do any of them get to make a bigger comeback once these nerfs are live next week? Right now they're brought 9 for Hunter, 9 for Rogue, and 13 for Warlock. Do they get to make a comeback in week 4 of THL with the balance changes?
Did you say Warlock, Rogue,
and Hunter? Yeah. Which of those do you think is going to be the best performing class come the nerfs? Because I know I heard last week. I've heard some people telling me that Hunter is going to be back. Hunter, stands the most to gain. But I don't know about you guys.
Oh.
For me, when I look at, I mean, I think all three of these decks are going to benefit from it. Mid-range Hunter is rarely going to change. It's always going to be kind of good. You know, it's never going to be completely weak, but it's never going to be world-beating at the same time. The big thing about these nerfs is the fact that they are nerfing the three biggest aggro decks in Token Druid, in Pirate Warrior, and also in Murloc Paladin. If you nerf those decks down, it actually allows other aggro decks to rise up. We've seen things like Elemental Rogue. We've seen different kinds of Hunter builds as well. Warlock has Handlock. Maybe the meta slows down a little bit, so we can actually see that Handlock build kind of rise up in the competitive scene. The one that kind of stands out to me is still Miracle Rogue. Elemental Rogue looks really, really fun. It's a great tempo deck. Miracle Rogue has gotten to the point where they're actually taking out the Auctioneers and sticking sprints back in there for consistency, and it's actually working out pretty well. And so I've had a chance to play both Elemental and Miracle Rogue. I love both of those decks. I think they will get stronger after the nerfs hit.
Well, my question is, what are they struggling with now? Druid's going to get significantly weaker, and we're already banning that. I would take a look at how they do against Priest, who's not getting touched. And yeah, I don't know that enough of a vacuum is going to get made to let them jump in.
I think kind of going along with what Trigger Me Biscuit says in chat, whose name doesn't match his THL name, so I always forget his THL name. Is it MMI?
Yeah.
Okay. He says Hunter's always there if you're predicting Mage. And I wonder I think for me is if Paladin kind of falls out and Mage kind of replaces it, it wouldn't surprise me if Hunter starts getting picked a little bit more. I think Priest is going to jump up. I think it's going to solidify itself as the second most brought deck next week.
I definitely think that a lot of these decks haven't risen up because they run into Pirate Warrior and they run into Token Druid. And when those decks go away, we'll actually see the power level of these things. I think they still might struggle against control. So if you see your opponent bring in a control lineup, you might want to rethink your class submission in that way, shape, or form. I actually think, if you tempo out decently enough with these things, you can beat almost any control lineup with them in a competitive sense, just in a vacuum of one game. But these decks have never risen up because of the awesome aggro that already exists. You take the aggro out of the equation, this is the new aggro, the new tempo that will rise up then.
All right. Well, let's move into the matchups we featured last week, and let's see what happened to them. The first one we featured was Defiance Brotherhood and Dirty Mike and the boys.
Ooh. And
man, Slimch called it. He said Defiance looks good on paper, and then slowly let you down in heartbreak. And Defiance had a really poor showing, getting swept in the 1, 2, and 3 seeds. And then Arcane THL getting them 2 solid points, and AO getting them 1. DMB, Dirty Mike, took the week 20-3. So, any thoughts on this? Are you surprised at how dominant Dirty Mike and the boys was in this matchup?
No, honestly not. I called it the week before. Dirty Mike and the boys didn't have a really good week 1, but I said they were gonna take off the kid gloves and go ham in the future, and that's it. Given letting your opponents only take 3 points for the week is absolutely dominant, and I'm glad that I was right.
Yeah, and Hockey Boys is letting me know in chat that the Flint Tropics, the team with 4 Dirty Mike and the boys, also played against the Defias Henchmen, the Defias associated SHL team, and they beat them 20-4. So the Defias brand, as it's called, had a really, really sad week this week. So Slips, you got any thoughts about this one? What do you think?
I noticed a lot of them brought Mage and Paladin, which can be kind of a trap. I'm wondering if they just got a bunch of their secrets eaten. At the rate those lineups for Defias is looking across the board, they were very consistent as a team, but seemed like they might have been kind of vulnerable.
Yeah. One thing I've noticed in when I've been playing in THL is that occasionally you'll see a team that brings a lot of the same strategies, and after the first match, it seems like it becomes a little easier because you can kind of predict what they're doing. Because, we're not all playing at the same time. So I wonder if that factored into some of their success. Tim, what do you think? You already gave us your thoughts. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Brasky, did you give us anything for DMB and Defias here?
I'm going to make some bold predictions on this side of thing. Dirty Mike and the boys had a 20-point week and has 33 points. That's great. I actually think they're kind of overrated this season. I don't think they're bottom dwellers. I don't think these guys are bottom half of the league, but I don't think they're top 5. It's just everyone's gonna have their ups and downs in their seasons and that kind of thing. I think Dirty Mike is a little bit worse than people give them credit for. And I look at Defias. I think Defias they spend a lot of time thinking about what they're going to create, what they're going to craft. They spend a lot of time together. And Slimch talked about in the beginning of the season how much he thinks team chemistry is a big thing. I think right now they're trying to be a little too cute with their class discussions, trying to be like this one unified voice. Eventually, they're all going to find their own voices, but still have that communication together. So if you ask me, is Dirty Mike going to compete for a playoff spot? Absolutely. I think they're going to be a very solid team, and they definitely have a shot to make the playoffs, and they have a good shot to make the playoffs. I think Defias will find their niche, and especially in the second half of the season, they might play spoiler to a few people. This week, I think they tried to get too cute. I think they tried to do too much of the same thing, so no one did anything great. But going forward, I wouldn't be surprised if Dirty Mike, is rolling around in the middle of their division, and that's, Defias doesn't make the playoffs, but they spoil someone else's season.
All right, cool. All right, moving on to the other matchup we featured last week. We had the Doghouse versus the Bad Hombres, and I believe this was your pick, correct, Tim?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Give us your thoughts on how the matchup with the Doghouse and the Bad Hombres went down.
Well, I'm gonna start at the 1 seed. I got to watch the VOD of Parker playing against Slip and Jimmy, and those were some spicy decks. I was really happy to see some nice memes being played, of course, with the Bad Hombres. That's to be expected. But it was a pretty good victory on his part. And if I was thinking that would kind of set the tone for the rest of the Hombres, I would be absolutely wrong. No, the Doghouse destroyed them in 2 through 5. And they got 17 points off their victories, and compared to what? Is that like 10 points? Can't math. 11 points?
9 points.
9 points,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
9 points.
Yeah, just Doghouse cleaning up. Doghouse cleaning house.
Yeah. This is something, you look at it, though, they still, 1 win, a couple of 2-pointers. The only thing that really held them back was Captain Murdoch's Hurricane, which is the worst name for a sex position ever. That's something where maybe he was able to pull out a win against you, Anarchist, with that dead man's hand warrior. But you look at them, they're still playing the memes and they're still getting points. They had 4 points plus another 5, so a good solid 9 points on that one. God help us if they figure out a way to actually win with these decks. Because if they actually figure out a way to win with these decks, man, this pink-purple division is going to be in trouble. Because how do you plan for the Bad Hombres? Anarchist, you're going up against Murdoch. How did you plan to go up against that set of decks?
Again, I'm just trying to knock out most versatile as early as I can, so I picked the 4 classes I didn't bring last week. And, yeah. He definitely would have probably gotten at least 1 point had a Hurricane not knock him out, but yeah, it was planning for the Hombres. I told my people just be ready for memes, because, and by memes I just mean unexpected decks. I know Yellow Dart and Salmon, they both They went to 5 games, and then Kahanik and Pumbas went to 5 games. Kahanik was playing as I was playing, and he gave me a quick update. He was up 2-0, and then they start storming back. So he was able to snag the final victory. But yeah, it was. It is planning for the Hombres is. You really can't plan for them. It's and
Captain Murdoch reverse milled me with his Warlock. He set up where he put a minion on his board where when it takes damage you discard a card, or you discard one from your hand. He then flipped it with treachery onto my side, played an AoE so that I discarded my entire hand, and then at the end of it I have nothing left. And then I pull something and it's like just a 1-mana spell, and I'm like, well, that was fun. I felt like
the worst part about that is I accidentally helped him refine that deck.
Yes, you did.
I was not aware that this was going to be used against us.
You turncoat swag off. I'm sitting on the island. I felt like the victim of a hurricane at the end of that. I'm sitting there going, it all happened so fast. It just went whoosh, and my whole hand was gone. I just have to rebuild or something.
Yeah, preparing for them it's borderline impossible to do, and it's some of the most fun you can have playing in THL, honestly, because it is a very unique experience getting to play with them, play against them. So yeah, so I'll ask this to you guys. The Doghouse, my team got our first win of the season, but it was against the Hombres. So does it build up any faith for you guys, or are they still sort of towards the middle bottom of purple in your all's minds?
It's still too early to tell either way.
Yeah. I saw one of the Q&A questions. Someone asked, now that it's been 2 weeks, who's your pick for the 8 playoff teams? And I was just like, we are not predicting playoffs after 2 weeks. It's just so early.
You look at the black and the cyan divisions. I mean, there's a lot of tried and true teams in there that are super powerful, from Aeon to Golden Wisp. Thermic Whims is new, but they've been impressive so far. They might be like the most top-heavy teams, but I actually think that the purple division is kind of the group of death. I think the top 4 of us are going to really battle for that number 1 spot. I think it's going to be really close all season, and the bad Hombres are going to ruin someone's day.
Nothing unusual there.
I can get behind this train of thought.
Yeah. Purple right now is definitely a really close division, so it's going to be interesting to see how it shakes out. Moving on to matchup 3, I think it was Tom Locke who picked this one. And he picked Philly Hearth, Texas Stubbies, a couple of rookie teams to see what happened.
I think I picked that one for him.
Okay, you picked it for him. But yeah, so Philly Hearth Falls, they had a rough start with a couple DQs, but I think they missed the class submission deadline. But they put up a fight, man. Steffi, I think is how you say it. Steffi, yeah. She rocked out a sweep against Mr. Mandingo. Sir Turtle got in there against Osmonaut and beat him 3-2. And DS Adam, he unfortunately lost and wasn't able to pull off that really good comeback. But they got 8 points out of a week where 12 was the most they could get. So yeah, I think Philly Hearth is, still getting into the swing of things, but I think they have a chance to actually, put together some good wins moving forward. What do you guys think about what Philly Hearth did in a really tough spot there?
I think they can become a good team. I got to meet a few of them in Twitch chat. Steffi streams, Datalot came in the chat, invited them to the Discord.
Nice.
If they can just get more involved, submit classes, take advantage of their team mentality that they've got going on. They're all pretty friendly with each other for new players, so
That's awesome. Yeah. What do you guys think about the Texas Stubbies? They're 2-0. They're really low on PR, but what do we think about the Texas Stubbies? They beat Philly Hearth in a, we don't know how it turned out without the DQs. And I forget who they played week 1. Let me check real quick.
I'm trying to remember. They played Netherstorm?
I believe, yes, they did. They beat Netherstorm 15-13. It was a really close series. So what do we think about Texas Stubbies, a rookie team, a freshman team here, jumping off to two victories in their first 2 weeks?
It's impressive for a new team to start off so strong. Of course, they got 8 points this week due to their opponents DQing, and that doesn't really change their position in their division. But it absolutely 8 points is massive, and that makes a lot of difference going into playoffs. But that being said, you got to look forward to the next week. I'm really excited to see if they can manage to go 3-0 in their first 3 debuts.
Yeah, I mean they haven't played ATL, they haven't played Swagoy or Hick Boys or the Doghouse or Noobs or the Hombres. X hasn't given it to them yet either. So time will tell with that schedule. Right now they've beaten kind of the bottom of their division, which is if you think about that, it's what you're supposed to do. So if that's the bottom of their division, what happens when you start playing the top ends of both divisions after that?
Yeah. Speaking of having the Texas Stubbies haven't played X Gonna Give It To You. They are playing them now, and they're already down 1-3. Dexter got a win there. So yeah. Any other thoughts on week 2 as a whole before we move on to week 3?
I think that is week 3.
Week 2? Oh, I thought it was cool how Zenergy eked out the Heck Boys by a point.
Yeah, that was pretty spot. Tim's completely lost tracks of date and time.
Man, I've had 2 sips and I'm absolutely trashed.
Look at me with my cranberry and peach.
Yeah, Zenergy did get helped out with a DQ win, but it was really interesting to see it. One thing to note is they won that with they only actually won 1 game of the 4 that were played. They actually lost in the 1, 2, and 5 seed, but a sweep in the 3 and then the DQ sealed it for them. So
can we just note Anna Moore's setup right now? He's drinking peach vodka with some cranberry juice, and he has a leopard print blanket on him.
Oh, the blanket's classic.
The blanket, yeah.
Blankie, thank you.
The blanket.
Sorry.
You are a suburban James Brown right now with that whole setup going.
I've also got my backup drink. I got a little bit of Strongbow apple cider.
That I will take.
Flavored.
That's acceptable.
Maybe you can come out to Beercade with us sometime. I can buy you one.
Mm-hmm. That's an open invitation for everybody watching the stream right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anna Moore will buy everyone at THL a drink if you come down to Omaha, Nebraska, and find a place called Beercade.
I just want you guys to know I updated a drinking rule to include Blanky.
Blanky
is now a drinking rule. All right, let's move on to the week to come, week 3. We've all got our matchups here. I unfortunately failed really hard last week and forgot to do the pick'em. In case you're all are wondering, Slimsh and Tim both picked in week 1, all winners. So they have 3 picks that are
oh hell yeah,
I'm good. I went with the ballsy picks, and that didn't go well, and I'm 1-2. So they're 3 now.
My way to success.
So let's look at the matchups we have selected out. And I know I talked about my team last week because Tim picked it. But this week I'm picking my team because I'm playing Tim's team, and I'm really excited about it. I'm getting to play Brasky, who's in this room with me. It's going to be awesome. It's a Tavern Talk battle, and I'm really looking forward to it. What do you guys think about the Doghouse versus Team Swagaway this week?
I'm sweating bullets, man. If I lose, and both Earl and Tomlock win, I drop to the 3 seed. That's a lot of pressure, but I actually wouldn't mind that because I like playing in the 2 and 3 seed. The 1 seed is pretty intense. There's a lot of really good players there, and I like that competition. But sometimes I like to have a little less burden on my shoulders, you know.
Okay. Brasky, you're on the team. I'm playing you. What do you think about the Doghouse versus Swagaway?
Yeah, brother, I'm gonna tell you something right now, and I'm kissed. I'm sitting down there looking at my rogue against your warlock. It's gonna be a hell in the cell on Hearthstone. We're gonna bring it together. We're both gonna ban Druid. Who knows where this is gonna go, but I know what it's gonna end for you, and it's gonna end in pain. And I'm gonna sip my peach vodka with my cranberry juice. I'm gonna down a hibiscus saison that is ever so refreshing, and I am going to trample the corpse that was once you after I spank you and your warlock come Sunday.
That was awesome.
Oh, someone
Can you
clip
narrate my
that,
mornings?
please.
Can you
Someone
narrate my
clip
mornings
that.
as I brush my teeth and shower and eat my breakfast?
We're gonna talk about Slimps right now. He's gonna get up in the morning because it's 7 a.m. Make sure to take out the litter box because the cat just pooped in it.
Oh god, yeah, I'm really looking forward to playing Brasky. I will try and stream it if Brasky's okay with it. I think we have a set. I think we scheduled a time. I'm not 100% sure.
I think we're gonna do some time. I think it's like I suggested like 10 p.m. on Sunday. We're gonna bring it in right at the end.
Yeah, I was waiting to respond, I think, because I've got my SHL match. Tomorrow is my wife's birthday, so like my Saturday is booked. So I've been trying to squeeze them in, and I'm waiting for replies from both people so they don't overlap, and one match isn't running into the other one. So if I can, I might do 2 match streams that day. So
I want you to take that entire phrase that you just said, rewatch the stream, and say that's what she said.
Okay, I will. We'll do that. Oh, there it is. Scritch got us a clip, and it's titled Craigasm. So what does this match do for purple? I know right now Swaggle is 1 in purple. Doghouse is 2 in purple. We're only separated by 4 points. We're both coming off of pretty good wins. I think this match has a pretty big impact on getting a team set up to, try and hold out the 1 spot in purple for a while. What do you guys think?
I think if one team wins by more than 10 points, it's a huge week. I think that this is definitely going to shake down the division in some way, shape, or form. But if either side wins by double digits, I think it could have huge implications for the playoffs.
Yeah, another team, if the winners make it by that much, another team is going to easily sneak up and take their spot in 2nd place, and that team's going to fall to 3rd or 4th.
Yeah.
But if the match is close, it won't be that big of a deal.
Yeah. The Heck Boys and Noobs are. I mean, the top 4 teams in this division are only separated by 10 points right now, so it's so early, anything can change. But I was looking at our schedule, and we actually will have played all 4 other teams in purple after week 5.
Yeah, the schedule worked weird like that.
Yeah, so we will be ending. We won't have as much destiny in our hands as some people will say. We won't control our own destiny as much as we would like to going into the last week. So I think this might be a little bit more important matchup for us because we will be battling against a lot of blue in weeks 6 through 9. So.
Yeah, the top end of Swagway had a really rough week last week. Tom Locke and I neither of us won a game, and that was really tough. Luckily, Brasky and Doc McButt were able to pull it out and keep us intact. Of course, there was a DQ in the 3 seed. But that's we kind of talked about it, and we're going forward with some positivity, and we're ready to take you guys down.
Yeah, I actually had to visit the doctor for my lower back pain from carrying the team the entire week. So
Yeah, I foot
Oh
the bill on
gosh.
that one.
All right.
Expensive.
Tim, give us the rundown on the matchup you picked for this week.
I picked Thermic Whims and Team Golden Wisp. Both teams had pretty big wins last week, if I recall. Unfortunately, how do I say it? I heard his name all over the weekend when he was at Dreamhead. Sohyun.
You're getting better than me at it, buddy.
I'm just gonna say Seohyun. He DQ'd last week actually, and Team Golden Wisp still won. And that's a small price to pay for coming in second place at DreamHack.
yeah, I wonder if he was busy. Like, why did he?
Yeah,
DQ?
he
I don't know.
I mean, obviously there's some priority issues there. Can't fault him too much, but there's a big difference in the 3 through 5 seeds in terms of PR. Team Golden Wisp is favored in the 3 seed, but there's a big difference in 4 and 5. So I think that's where the big deciding factors are going to be for this match.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see some of these matchups, but they are some very skewed PR in those 3 to 5 seeds. What do you guys think about the classes they brought? Specifically, Gideon Jura didn't bring Druid.
I mean, yeah, I don't know about not bringing Druid like that.
Now it's very
It's going to attract
very
the
surprising.
fans.
Yeah, they're taking risks early on, but hasn't hurt them yet. That's the thing. And on the same side of Golden Wisp, we saw the Fly Sly, switch, like bring classes everyone brings, but then bring a complete control lineup, and it ends up working great for them. I think Team Golden Wisp is a great judge of the meta. I think Thermic Winds is taking risks with their class choices, but those risks can mean great reward. And so if they end up, sticking to that style for them, that's probably the only style that you can use if you want to take down Team Golden Wisp. I mean, they are the best team in the league for a reason. And so if they stick with that risky strategy, it's probably the best chance they have to pull an upset.
Slimps, you got any thoughts on this one, or did you already give them?
No, I haven't. Thermic Whims has been doing pretty solid, but it appears Golden Wisp is about as good as they've ever been. Seohyun has been doing quite well. I tend to believe in the infinite value here.
All right, moving on. I think Slimps, you picked this one for us.
I did. So
What do we got here?
These cool little Cyan teams over here. HSA is currently holding down 3 in the ranking, and Dirty Mike's up at 2. So this could be a pretty significant match. Don't know if the classes are so weird here. Tiramisu bringing that rogue in the 5 seed. Me, myself, and I with Warlock up in the 1 seed. Yeah, I'm just interested to see some early playoff hopefuls go at it. And
Yeah.
maybe we'll be talking about what happened the week before the nerf. Weeks later.
Yeah, the Hearthstone Academy this week, all of them brought Druid, Priest, and Warrior, and then they each kind of had like a flex class here. Do you think that's a result of stuff going on at the tournaments with Rizakis Priest just doing so strong?
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah. What did Dirty Mike bring this week? They bring anything?
Mike,
Lots of Paladin from Dirty Mike. They all brought Paladin and Druid.
all Paladin, all Druid. Sirlos has a Hunter. 2 Shamans, Eric O'Key, Dirty Mike's got Shaman. Only 3 Priests. They're not killing the Priest that hard. Man, I think
Yeah.
Priest is just auto-bring. Serious.
Yeah, I think you'll see Priest had a big jump in week 2, and I think it's just week 2 to week 3. I think it's just going to continue. Keep being brought more. Yeah, Dirty Mike and the boys has a chance to really put a really strong grip on the Cyan division. Same with HSA. The Pod people and Defias are both struggling really hard right now. And so a matchup between those guys is going to be really important for the playoff spots when it comes down to it. So anything else in week 3 that you guys want to talk about? We feature, the 3 matchups, but anything else in here that you want to, just highlight? Any player matchups that you're excited to see? I'll kind of start us off here. Slimps, your match versus Brasky. I'm really excited to see what shakes out there.
Oh yeah,
that one looks really interesting to me. Chijmo versus Steffi. That one looks really good. I'm hoping that gets on stream. Both of those come from Purple and Blue, the Purple and Blue conference. And then lastly, I'm really excited to see what happens against Crackshot and Arcane THL. Both been in the league for a while. And so I'm really excited to see what happens in that matchup.
Yeah.
What do you got? Anything in here that sticks out to you guys?
There's a couple.
Heck
Yeah, go
Boys
ahead,
Noobs
Slim.
is good. Obviously biased, but
Yep, that
I think
is
it's just
a
going to be a good
matchup.
match. Some pretty impactful Purple teams here going on, although that's kind of true across the board for Purple.
Yep.
Yeah, a couple of individual matchups that stand out to me. Josh Sampson versus Pork. I think Imposition against Misadventure is really cool to watch. I think Slime Guy against Rogue JT. I think that's going to be really a really cool matchup as well. And then D Lyman against Jing Buddha. All those matches are matches that would interest me. If those were on a stream somewhere, then I would definitely watch them.
And so Hockey Boys points out that Slimsh and Brewski have the 2 highest PR in the league battling it out.
Oh, dang.
Yep. You all do have the 2 highest PRs in the league right now. So that's going to be a really cool match.
Cheesy took a little dive, although he's not playing this season. So.
Yeah.
Cheesy is, he's right up there with you as well. And
Yeah.
actually, the Fly Sly is creeping up on you guys. He is 4th right now, in only his 2nd season. So he's catching up to you guys.
Yeah, 2 other matches that stand out are Comp and Cinder, and I think Arcane and Crackshot are good. My goal is to get up to a 500 level PR just so we can have a Brewski-Brasky match.
Oh, that'd be so good.
To happen.
I got tired of confusing you guys. And you're on my team.
All right. Yeah. So that's week 3. I'm gonna be honest with you, chat. Your Q&A questions this week are pretty terrible. They're just not good. And admittedly, that's on us because we didn't put the Q&A up very early. So we're going to have a shorter section. Ben Stevenson asks, when is THL going to expand to Mario Kart? And
How do you want us to answer that?
Depends on the Mario Kart, right?
Which Mario Kart? I haven't played since the Wii.
Well,
I refuse to play.
Not Wii U.
I refuse to play since the Super Nintendo because there is no other Mario Kart.
I want
You
to
can
play
take
Double
your Mario-
Dash.
You can take Mario Kart 64 and just, toss it out the window if you want to. But if we're playing Super Nintendo Mario Kart, then you got yourself a game.
I think I just heard the most blasphemous statement I've ever heard when someone just said you could throw Mario Kart 64 out the window. Now I really want to beat you, but I probably won't. John S. Nola says, what's the correct hex code for teal? That is a drinking rule. It's a very subtle one. And then this one, I'm gonna Adam. Is that Doc McButt?
It's Doc McButt.
How do you
That's
say
your
his last?
resident PhD posterior MD.
How do you say
Doc
his last name?
McButt.
Vasion?
Vasion.
I'm gonna say it like Saison and call it Vaison.
Okay. Well, Doc
Almost
McButt, he asked this specifically for Brasky, but I'm going to give this up to all of us here. If you could cast any Hearthstone event with any caster, who would it be?
Oh,
Come back to me.
So, Brasky,
do-
since it was for you, do you want to start? Or Slimsh has his answer, so let Slimsh go.
Wow. That would probably be I'm trying to think off the top of my head who would work well with me on this kind of thing. So I think Frodan and I together would would not get anything done, but it'd be glorious. I think it would be the biggest sloppy mess ever. I think I would work great with Kibler, and Cora would be really good. And I think if you put me with Firebat, that would be the equivalent of just putting a couple of stoners in a room and them just giggling at each other.
Oh, I love that. I'd love to see you cast with any of them.
BlizzCon finals with Verde.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. I'm gonna pretend like I know who that is.
Oh,
It's before my time as well.
He's old. I mean, if you look up the old Salty Saturday VODs on YouTube, you can find the ones where Verde used to cast with Cassidy and another Archon Storm favorite, Hertz Donut.
If we're doing like Seat Story Cup and it's just about messing around, just put me and Day 9 in a room together and
Nice.
That stream would get so many viewers. If I cast with anyone, I think I'd like to cast with That's Admirable, and if I could throw in another one, I'd throw in TJ as well. I love their dynamic together. I'd love to be a part of that.
heck yeah.
I missed the blowback.
I'm no caster myself, but I personally like, and if it's like celebrity in quotation marks, definitely Kibler. I love Kibler. He's awesome. But one that I really want to do, I know I'll never be able to get Imbolc on board, but I really want to do a cast where it's me, Salt, and Imbolc casting matches, and it's just the casters from down south. Something of that nature needs to happen. And there's a couple other guys Arcane would fit in with us. A few other guys, we could have a really good time with that.
MMI's got quite the question in chat, which I'm loading Hearthstone up to look.
Yes, his question is, which Death Knight hero gets the biggest upgrade over the original hero in terms of sexual attractiveness? What about the downgrade? I only mean relative to the base hero. The answer to both questions is Shaman.
The answer to both is Shaman. Slim's just booted up Hearthstone.
Yeah, I'm in there. I got that golden Jaina, man.
Golden Jaina.
I mean,
upgrade is Anduin, let's be real.
I'm saying he's the downgrade.
What?
What? No.
He's like
he
even
upgraded from Anduin to Frodan. That's a pretty big jump.
Oh, I didn't even think about looking at this.
That's a good point.
Yep, see, MMI chat agrees with us. It's definitely...
I think you're swiping left on Garrosh all the time, though.
Yeah. 100%.
Man, I think
Uther.
I think Uther's a great upgrade because he was looking great already, and now he's just like, if you're into the older guys and they get like slightly older and also dead, then that's just great.
So if you're into old guys and necrophilia, Uther's your man.
Yeah, so it's like a significant upgrade if you fit into that market.
If you're looking for a sugar daddy, then it's perfect. You know, they're slightly old and dead. They have to, it's fine that way.
Oh gosh, that is a question.
Such an undead daddy, as Tigger Me Biscuit said.
Oh my god.
Where's Vedney?
Great band name, the Undead Daddies.
Don't mention his name.
Yeah.
All right. And Brasky, I don't know if you want to do this, but Sage says go to longestjokesintheworld.com and recite. Would you be down to do one of those? Give the people what they want?
What is the link again?
One of those.
I put it in the doc.
We'll be here forever.
No.
So there's a man.
Okay.
In the desert.
I like
Oh!
Who's decided to try his SUV in a little bit of a cross-country travel. Had great fun zooming over the Badlands and through the sand. Got lost, hit a big rock, and then he couldn't get it started again. There was no cell phone towers anywhere near, so his cell phone was useless. He had no family. His parents had died a few years before in an auto accident, and his few friends had no idea he was out here. He stayed with the car for a day or so, but his one bottle of water ran out, and he was getting thirsty. He thought maybe he knew the direction back, now that he'd paid attention to the sun, and thought he'd figure out which way was north. So he decided to start walking, and he figured there'd only be one way to go for about 30 miles. So he backed to the small town and gotten gas at last. To be continued later on.
Okay. I scrolled down to the... I thought these were going to be, like, just a little bit long. Like,
No.
I didn't realize it was literally the longest joke in the world.
No, your joke of the day is, hey, man, you know what they say, ex-girlfriends are like a box of chocolates. They'll kill your dog.
Gosh. Oh gosh. Well,
I like short jokes.
I think I broke Anarchist.
I think we're not. There were so many avenues we could have taken with what Slimps just said, but I think we all just thought to ourselves, no, we're not going to go there.
I thought he was going to say something, and then he never did.
Oh, this is a
Picks on
good
short people.
confirmed. Oh man, this was a good show. I had a blast. I'm gonna do some plugs and then we'll do some parting thoughts. Friday Night Fights. It's tomorrow night. I don't know who's gonna be on it. Oh yes, I do. Give me just one moment. Imposition emailed me. Let me find it. Here we go. Our first matchup is always Top Deck Lethal versus the Bad Hombres, where you can see Arkeesar versus Smoked Salmon. That is a good one. And then one of the matchups we featured, Hearthstone Academy versus Dirty Mike and the Boys. Katoda versus Dirty Mike himself. Oh, we didn't do Pick'ems. Okay. Well, let me finish my plugs and we'll go back and do Pick'ems.
You pick them, you brought them.
I don't know who's gonna be on Salty Saturday, but it'll be there.
We will have, I can tell you right now, the second match is going to be Mange and Blue Spartan. We're still figuring out the first match itself. I believe it's going to be Dunamis and Lefty is going to be in the match as well. So.
More Hearthstone Academy and Dirty Mike. That's awesome. And then I don't know who we have tapped up for Sunday Night Ticket, but get in there and watch it. We've had some... D. Lyman was on there last week, and there were some really good Hearthstone in there. I really enjoy Last Hero Standing more and more. Even though Hector just lost 0-3. Sad face.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's do some pick'ems real quick. Alright, let's get the biased one out of the way. Tim and Brasky and me. Do we have any shockers in matchup one? Who are we taking, the Doghouse or Swagaway?
I'm nervous on this one because I wanna win my match, but I also want to win this. So I'm gonna go ahead and do both. Pick Swagaway.
The winner of the matchup between us is the Hick Boys, because they'll probably jump both of us at the end of the week. That's what's gonna happen.
Okay, I'm gonna go with the Doghouse. Slimsh, unbiased opinion. Who's winning, Doghouse or Swagaway?
Swagaway.
Oh, I hate you.
Supporting your father even when he gets old.
Another. Maybe this is my comeback on the pick'ems. Matchup 2, Thermiquims versus Golden Wisp. Who you got, Slimsh?
Beyond the Wisp.
Beyond the Wisp. Tim?
How can you not pick Golden Wisp?
Yeah, I'm picking Golden Wisp too. No more of these outlandish picks.
That's
HSA.
your way to come back.
Slimsh's autobiography is going to be called Feeling the Wisp.
Feeling the Wisp.
Infinity.
Hearthstone Academy and Dirty Mike and the Boys. Who you guys got?
Oh,
Tough.
HSA.
yeah, I saw that one coming. This is going to be another tough one. I think HSA's class picks look a bit stronger than Dirty Mike and the Boys, so I'm going with them.
Oh, I put Dirty Mike and the Boys at number 1 in the power rankings. I'd be a fool not to be picking them here.
Yeah, they could definitely. I mean, that's going to be such a fun matchup to watch because those are two really good teams.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Dirty Mike and the boys. No one wrote that down, so we'll have to go back to the VOD to get these. But, well, we'll figure it out. I remember we all picked Old Wisp. We were biased. And then, Slim Shoe, did you have Dirty Mike?
Yeah.
And Tim had HSA. Okay, and I had Dirty Mike. No?
I thought I put Dirty Mike.
Did you? Okay, we're all picking Dirty Mike. So
I took HSA.
you took HSA, Brasky.
Wait,
Okay, sorry.
No,
I'm mixing up.
I think I put Dirty Mike in the power rankings, but I'm picking HSA. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, you said you like their class submissions better.
Yeah.
All right, so
classes.
so we can so we'll have some shakeups in there. I forgot to plug the power ranking show because they are at the beginning of the week, but watch those guys do the power rankings every Tuesday. And parting thoughts. What do you guys got? Brasky, since you're our guest, you get to go first. What are your parting thoughts for us this week?
Parting thoughts are excited for our match, Anarchist. I'm going to give a shout out to all of my Swagoid teammates. Thanks to everybody who's watching Tavern Talk. We've had some great viewership, I think, of all streams across the board. So I want to shout out everyone just like in chat. All the folks viewing, I think, is great. But other than that, Anarchist, I'm going to spank you like a redheaded stepchild. So we're just going to leave it at that.
Well, all right.
I'm going to let him.
Tim, what are your parting thoughts?
I'm going to stand by and watch it happen. That's it.
Okay, Slim's
Just
parting thoughts, Slim.
Parting thoughts include look out for Salty Saturday. Brasky and I are going to be there again.
Ooh, boy.
Going to be sick.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, week 3 hype. Nerfs next week. Pretty exciting. Oh, yeah, Markshire and it was Blue Sombrero, right? Had that article, that blog post to go check out on the site.
Yeah.
Yeah, go check out the blog.
The blog
really
is
good.
There's lots of stuff on the blog. If you're not keeping up with the THL blog, it is getting some regular updates. We got some team profiles. They're doing some good work over there, and I know they've got some really interesting stuff. Planned and ready to go. So, and then I guess for my parting thoughts is I just got word Yellow Dart beat Tom Locke 3-2, so we're in the lead, boys.
Oh, snap.
Yeah! So, next week we will be back with less smack talk, but more predictions. Hockey Boy says that we'll close on that there should be a new blog post tomorrow. Dirty Mike and the Boys team profile. I can't wait to read that. They seem like so cool. So be on the lookout for that, guys. And that'll do it for us. Good luck in your laddering and your matches this week. See you guys next week.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.